Virgin? Confirm or deny? Just give us something. Give us a
Really? This is like the most pressing topic for the dating
It's literally
podcast?
a yes or no. It'll take you 1 second to answer the question.
Is it about the duration of how long it takes to answer a question like that? That's what determines.
What's up with the sophistry? Why don't you just answer it?
I mean, you were evasive about why you were like excavating
I
their
said because I was curious and because it's good content.
After
and it's
a lot of deliberation mentally, I feel like Fresh is the best one for her from the Fresh and Fit podcast. I feel like she fits the archetype that Fresh goes after.
What archetype is that?
Chubby white girl.
Got it.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Just joking, Fresh. Love you.
Although I had a question for you.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Thanks, Plan Life.
You said earlier, with respect to like the dancing thing.
Yes.
You said it would be a boundary of yours to not let your partner or wife dance with another man.
Correct.
Is that really a boundary, or isn't that more of an agreement? I feel like a boundary is something that you say that I'm going to do or abstain, but I don't know that a boundary can really like include. I don't really think of them that way. I think of boundaries as things that like I would independently decide I don't want to do or I do want to engage in.
Was it a bad idea to give you the Game Boy?
You gave it to me. You told me.
Focus
on the conversation.
Steven.
Yeah, I would.
I know.
You fucked me. You lied to me.
I'm sorry. I misled.
There is a boundary. They're talking about the difference between a boundary and an agreement and a contract. Continue.
I just know when you do your streams, like you're playing Factorio and shit.
Come back to the hello.
Okay.
Don't let her dodge the virgin question.
Okay.
No, I actually want to interject. It's so fucking.
No,
wait. Let me interject.
Let her go.
Let me clarify her boundary
statement. Wait. I just want to say something. Earlier, you guys were talking about traditional relationships.
What?
I was raised in a Hispanic traditional Catholic family household. The idea that dancing ballroom or dancing in general is non-traditional to me is insane because like all of South America, Central America, Spain, they dance salsa, they dance merengue. That is part of the culture, and a lot of people there are very traditional, very Hispanic Catholic.
Well,
so
hold on.
there is a discrepancy there.
The issue is not with the actual dancing. The issue is with dancing with someone who's not your partner.
That's
what they do.
That's
white. Is that what they do?
Yeah, they do that in the culture.
It's literally just part of the culture.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not part of my culture.
Is that part of the culture?
I was literally born and
Not
raised
part of
in
my
that culture.
When it comes to the reaction to that video that I brought up, it was because of the context around it. If it were just two random people, I don't think that they
should we watch the video?
Hold on. No.
Should
to
we
be clear,
watch?
the
We should watch
no.
the video,
You can watch it
actually.
if you want, but the
So
reaction
that people know what we're
is.
talking
If you're okay
about.
with it.
Yes, if you want. No, I don't
If you're
care. You
okay.
can watch
If you're
all
okay.
you want. I'll jerk off to it for you if you want after the show. Okay.
Can we record it? I have an OnlyFans.
Just do it under the table.
Yeah, as long as you pay me for it, okay?
50-50.
Hold on. The issue is not the reaction to the video, or even the context around it. The issue is that right now, everybody in like the red pill like culture that's like taking over like online shit is like obsessed with like cuck and everything related to it. So much that I think it's actually a hidden fantasy for a lot of the people that talk about it. Where like if a guy is talking to somebody else or a girl is talking to somebody else, they're like cuck. Like people talk about it incessantly. It's like fucking insane. More so than it would have been like even 5 or 10 years ago.
You think it's like projection?
It's some kind of weird obsession with like being cucked or cucked. Like to the point where on some of these shows, I don't think I've heard it here, but people will say things like if your girlfriend has like a high body count, you start dating her, you got cucked. Or like if your girlfriend is like talking to another guy in a way that's getting cucked. It reminds me of like the old 4chan copy pasta where it's like the ultimate cuck is a father that raises a daughter because he's preparing his daughter's pussy to get plowed by some other guy.
Whoa.
And that's like the ultimate cuck. Like I'm just saying that like the obsession with like the cuck shit is like insane. I don't think it has anything to do with me or the dancing because like she said, in a lot of traditional cultures, a lot of people dance. And if you do like ballroom dance or competition, you're not only competing with a boyfriend, right? You're like dancing with like partners and other people that have been practicing with you and everything. So I just think the obsession has to do with like the current culture around like the whole cuck and like dating
there's
shit.
an obsession. I think that cuckoldry and other weird fetishes are being pushed in both pornography and pop culture, and people are just responding to that
Absolutely
because they don't
not.
like it.
I think
Cuckoldry as an actual fetish is really rare.
I think that people recognize degeneracy and they naturally say something
there you
towards
go.
it.
So it's it's like this weird like degenerate angle, and then like the red pill stuff and kind of the tradcon stuff and the fighting against like the perceived wokeism stuff.
There's a right way to express sexuality and a wrong way, and I guess you're saying there's not a right or wrong.
I never said that at all. There's plenty like.
Well, you put degeneracy and weird in air quotes.
Well, because
is there
she said
anything
degenerate.
that you would consider sexually degenerate?
Yeah, but he said we weren't allowed to talk about some of that.
So those subjects, would you
Fair
say
enough.
those are the only things that
Stay
qualify
tuned for
as
Rumble.
degenerate?
But you're allowed to partake in it.
In broad speaking terms, as long as people are exercising or practicing some sexual thing that's between them and it's not hurting anybody else, in general, I think it's probably okay for people to do that. If you want to have like a pure monogamous relationship, if you want to be abstinent until you get married or whatever, and that's how you want to explode, I think that's totally fine. But it seems like people from some backgrounds find that they can be incredibly judgmental of other people's like sexual exploration, which is really weird to me because they'll get like really fixated on it.
Well,
like I've never had a conversation before where I'm like, what's it like to like only have your husband or boyfriend's dick like going in and out of your pussy? Like these like really explicit conversations. But then people come to me and it's like, what do you think about like your wife like fucking other guys and shit? And it's like, it's really weird that I'll get like really, or like even earlier, he's like, so you're bisexual. I think you asked me, right? Do you fuck guys in the ass? Do you take dick in your ass? I'm like, Jesus,
I did
that's
not
a really
say
you
that.
did. You asked if I was a top or bottom, right? That's essentially what you're
Yes.
asking, right? Which is fine. I don't care. Like the explicit questions are fun, and I'm used to dealing with it. But it's interesting to me that based on my lifestyle, I'll get like these really explicit questions, and I feel like if you're in a more traditional relationship, if somebody asked you that, you'd be like, whoa, that's like way over the line. Which I think is just an interesting
Like, there's
observation.
probably questions
How
that we could
dare you
ask to
marry?
monogamous people, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
dare
you're
you.
very
Harsh.
offended by that, I guess.
What?
By me asking.
There's nothing you can say that will offend me. I
Look,
promise.
I think people ask questions about your relationship because I would say the vast majority, they don't think that it's normal or conducive to a flourishing long-term relationship.
and that's fine.
Especially a marriage. 'Cause they
Sure.
think it's fundamentally humiliating to a man to not have sexual exclusivity with his wife.
And that's totally fine. But the way that the questions are phrased was earlier was, I'm just curious. But it's not a curiosity.
I didn't say that, but
Sure, that's
I
fine.
said that.
It's not an actual curiosity.
I'm critical.
That's fine. Yeah, there's a normative loading of like, you're doing something that I don't approve of, and now I'm going to question you on it, which is fine. But like, if we want to get into that, then we can get into that.
Well, I mean,
rather than like oh, well, I'm just curious. Like, does it bother you that somebody else might like come on your wife? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, I don't know.
Let's back up a second.
Yeah,
you're,
sure.
you're kind of projecting the disapproval does exist, but the
Well, I'm not
questions-
projecting because these two at least have explicitly said it, right?
Yeah,
so it does exist.
I just
You
said
It's
might be
not.
curious.
It's not.
I just said
It's
it was
not
a boundary of
necessarily.
mine.
No, I'm
It's
pointing out
not.
your
It's
ideas,
not
yeah.
necessarily that the questions are rooted in disapproval. It's more just that like your guys' relationship dynamic is it's a taboo in society, so people are curious and they have questions, right?
Well, you were. I think you're curious. Well, I don't. I'm treating you as good faith that you're curious. But like these two at the very least. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being disapproving. But these two questions are coming from like a. Don't you realize that this is really bad? Is like that. That's like the angle of the question, basically.
It's
which
not
is fine,
like
by the way.
understanding or curiosity.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna bully you, kind
Yeah.
of, for what you're doing in your
Which is
life.
fine.
Do you guys feel bullied by them?
I don't feel bullied. I love
Do
it.
you-
Melina
Do you
does
feel
a little
bullied?
bit.
No, it's just like negativity, not understanding.
Do you guys
not
wanna
like
react
being
to the video
curious
in
or anything. It's
question?
just being
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
very
you wanna watch
judgmental
it, we can
really, really
watch it.
fast,
Yeah,
you know?
Eric, can you work on trying to find what would be a
It was
good
posted on
keyword
Twitter
for
a
us
bunch.
to?
I mean, when you're
I don't
so
want to do
open
the.
about
Hold on,
it.
I don't want to do the
Sorry.
video where there's like the music over it.
You
I
can
want
do the
like
video with the music and the Zoom if you want. Whatever you want
copyright.
to do. Okay?
Hello.
No copyright strike.
Oh.
Try to find just ABBA Destiny dancing video. While we do that, I just have.
Pretty sure you can go to Rollo's
three-
Twitter or Andrew Tate's Twitter. Everybody's retweeting the
On
video,
there.
so you can find it on there probably.
Wait, I'm kind of curious. How do you guys define degeneracy? Like, what do you guys have like a general definition for it, or do you just say like, oh, I don't like that, it's
I
degenerate?
mean, I don't know about you guys. I would personally say off the cuff things that like degenerate the stability of society, right?
Things that are contributing to the fall of the West.
Yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
So like
thi-
give some
this is-
examples, Chase.
Yeah, like this is still a very
What'd you
general
say?
definition.
Things
Give
that
some
perpetuate
examples
of
hedonism,
degeneracy.
things
Examples
that-
of degeneracy, I would say like women getting ran through in their 20s. I think polyamory is degenerate. No offense. I think it has if it was to be widespread throughout society, I think it would really tear and rip at the fabric of society, and things would fall apart very quickly.
Don't like,
Ho-
isn't it like
hold
20%?
on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Homosexuality, transsexuality, and then like stuff like alcoholism, addiction, all these kind of
You're
things.
really
Like I think
based.
all of that's degenerate.
Okay.
That's how I would define
and
it.
your definition of degeneracy is basically if everybody did it, then society would fall apart, and that's why it's degenerate if just one person does it.
It's degenerate for both society at large and also for individuals, right? Like homosexuality, for example, there's a lot of homosexuals that have early mortality because of the diseases that are associated with homosexuality. You could also say the same for people that have, do rampant fornication, get STDs through that. It's degenerate for the individual as well, and it starts to wear a part of their body, their mind, their soul, all these things, right? It's very unhealthy on an individual level and on a societal level as well.
And you're worried about this specifically degenerating the West? Like homosexuality, all of this cuckoldry?
I would say the evidence is
It already-
abundant.
Yeah, but- but the
is
West
the evidence is
specifically-
abundant that
I mean,
it
look
is
at
currently
Hollywood.
degenerating the
It is
West.
already degenerating at a massive
Yes.
rate.
Yeah,
Yes.
gender bending, sodomy, homosexuality, these things have never happened in Europe. That's so true.
They
There
have.
were
They do
symptoms
have
of
it.
like the declining societies. I mean, we're not the first people to think that you can like have sex with a guy or change your gender. I mean, there have been sexual revolutions in different capacities throughout history, and no society has ever survived those types of revolutions. Typically, like a sign of the decline happening.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Do you think our society is on the brink of collapse?
I don't know if
think
I would say the
it's-
brink. I think that's alarmist, but we're definitely headed in the wrong direction.
Every marker of a healthy nation, America's heading in the opposite direction.
Just because of what people are doing in the
I
bedroom.
don't think that
It's
our
not just
society is
because of
actually
that.
capable
No.
of
Yeah, do
collapse.
you
I think
think-
it's too sophisticated.
Yeah,
I
I
disagree.
was about to
Part
ask,
of
do you
it.
think these things are what were the cause of collapse, or do you think that there are other factors like economic factors or factors relating to, like, let's say, illness, disease, widespread that might be the cause or the causes of those societies falling?
The only disease killing America is like the woke mind virus, where everybody's
Yeah.
just like trying to
So
be so
true.
fucking woke.
I like how we said that there was a literal disease killing America that like
Kind of
conservatives
is.
wouldn't even recognize. as
It
being an
kind of
actual
is.
thing.
Come on, because even you, like,
Also
as,
the
as like
obesity
progressive. Hold on,
crisis,
as progressive as you are, like you see, sometimes these people are too fucking crazy.
I fight with them all the time.
No,
but
I
I also
agree, I agree.
recognize that like conservatives are literally telling people not to get vaccinated, but we think that like gay people are like ruining society more than that. But
Well,
no.
there's good
Not
there's
all
good
conservatives.
reason for
There's
that
not.
though. Yes, there is.
Tell us the reason.
Well,
Why is gay people?
I
ruining
saw one
society?
woman. I saw one woman take the
That
vaccine.
wasn't what I was speaking to.
Listen, I
No?
saw one woman take the vaccine and become retarded. That was enough for me to be like, no, I'm just not gonna fucking do it. You know?
what's the
Okay,
TOS
I saw
on
one
talking about
person
the
not take the
vaccines?
vaccine and die. That was enough for me to do it.
Let's
Like, that's
avoid the
anecdotal.
vaccine talk. Let's avoid the vaccine
No,
talk,
I
guys.
do agree though, because like especially with like Hollywood and TikTok is like predominantly used by teens, and the algorithm is sort of catered towards left-leaning ideals, like, oh, there's this, there's that,
Yeah.
and it's sort of teaching kids that this is what you have to be, this is the right way to think, and it sort of shames them into forming their own opinions.